If you see that Stefan Red was a prominent personality in this event that I'm referring to right here. He was there discussing it. They knew the entire thing in advance. They had plenty of warning. He's with the CDC. They could have taken an action immediately, starting on the 1st of January, to isolate people in New York, give people masks, give them masks on the trains. That was known all the way up until when they finally took an action. It was a draconian action, whereas preparatory work could have been done before that. Even starting in February, they could have handed out masks and hand wipes on the subway trains, which is where you needed them. Obviously, if you jam all these people on subway trains, they knew in advance. They did absolutely nothing for 2 months, right? Absolutely nothing. No action whatsoever. You could not get tested for it. They didn't make a single effort to trace anybody. They didn't make a single effort to put testing for COVID-19 in the public hospitals. They did not prepare the subways or buses for to stop infections. They did nothing, even though Stefan Red from the CDC was fully aware of the entire scenario. Okay? Now, what this indicates to me is that the entire scenario is not about protecting the public health. It is about bringing in a completely hidden agenda that people still don't I haven't really seen the entire face of yet. You haven't really seen what is the agenda behind this, because it certainly was planned. That's why we have this sign here, Plandemic. All these plans were known, all these scenarios were already known in advance. Okay, so now I'll let somebody else come up soon. I just wanted to make a few introductory remarks and say that what needs to be done is very, very of the moment. We cannot allow the situation in New York State and New York City to continue any farther than this. Okay, they have to start transitioning back to a normal economy and normal life. They have to do it, or they are going to drive out of business. Tens of thousands of small businesses will not return. There will be millions of people who will remain unemployed throughout the entire summer. If they are allowed to continue with the plan to completely dismantle the U.S. economy and leave it like this, on a semi-permanent basis, what they're doing is usurping your property. They are usurping your mortgages, which you can't pay. They're usurping your businesses, which you're going to be forced to sell. All the assets of this country are going to be brought down to the floor. And then what's going to happen is,
called deflation.
Anybody that has money can come along and consolidate all of this under one trust, which is, to me, one of the things that this entire event was planned for. Now, there's absolutely no doubt that they knew exactly what was going to happen back in October. I'd like people to go to this website. BitChute is a video sharing platform. It's like YouTube, but it has no censorship. Okay? Spiro, that's a channel. Go to Event 201. Did Bill Gates and World Economic Forum predict coronavirus outbreak? Did they predict it? Yes. The answer is yes. They predicted it down to the fine details. Now, I don't understand why normal precautions cannot suffice. Okay? You can have, as we say on the flyer, people are already wearing masks. They're already social distancing. They're standing 6 feet apart right outside the grocery store. You think they can't stand 6 feet apart inside the grocery store? They can do it. They can stay 6 feet apart inside the grocery store. Now, all right, they can stay 6 feet apart in the lines. They can wear masks in the grocery store. So why are you making people stand in these lines all over the state of New York when they're already social distancing and wearing masks according to law? What's the problem? End the store lines. End the lines. No reason for it whatsoever. I challenge them to give one medical reason why you cannot have people walking in and out of grocery stores as you do normally. They don't have any medical reason for that. Okay, the next thing, cancel the rents. Cancel them. Do not suspend them or put them off until later, build up a giant rent bill that nobody's going to be able to pay. The fact is that the state of New York has prevented people from earning a living since March 15th.
Yes.
They have, by law, prevented you from earning a living. It is their obligation to cancel your rent so that you can maintain your home. That's your home. You have absolute right to your apartment. These are your land rights. That Cuomo is, like any other New York politician, being paid by the real estate lobby to maintain the triple rents. All this time, every politician in New York has not said one single word about the fact that they ran the rents up to triple levels back from starting in 1985, and they've maintained it ever since. Cuomo, like all New York politicians, are in the pocket of the real estate lobby. If Cuomo says, let's see, we'll work it out when the time comes. That's what he said. They wanted to know what he was going to do about the rents. He said, we'll work it out when the time comes. You know what he's doing? He's running up your bill. And you will not be able to undo that bill. You'll have to beg this man to help you from being evicted from your home. The fact is, we need people now to band together in an organization that demands that the rents be canceled from the date that they created the lockdown imposition. When they imposed the lockdown, from then on, all rents must be canceled until they lift the entire thing and get back to business. Does it make sense? Hundreds of thousands of people are in danger of losing their homes. Millions are out of work. Let's band together. As you know, people have been attacked. This is an attack. For those that don't understand about what the Republican Party is doing, there is a fallback position that they've taken now. For months, we've been saying it's perfectly obvious that the HIV virus was grafted onto an ordinary coronavirus. Those proteins on the sides of the cell envelope that enable HIV to latch onto T cells and destroy your T cells, that's the sequence, that's the protein sequence that was grafted onto coronavirus. Now, the people that want to know about it, take one of these leaflets. If anybody's interested, can you pass that around? Okay. So what's happened is, after they had the discoverer of HIV, that is the Nobel Prize winning virologist, Luc Montagnier, has stated that coronavirus is a man-made virus. Now, if you don't believe him, he's the one that won the Nobel Prize for discovering the HIV virus back in 1987, I think. So what they've had to do is take a fallback position now. First they told you this came out of some bat soup in a market in China. And the press ran with that for months, right? The bat soup, it came out of China, Wuhan market. Remember that story? Well, guess what? They've had to drop that now. So now they're saying, oh no, this was made in a laboratory, but it was their laboratory, okay? Their laboratory, the Chinese laboratory. Let me tell you something. That laboratory was under contract to the United States military for creating precisely this type of virus and attaching bat DNA to mice, and this goes back at least 10 years. At least 10 years, and they all work together. So don't let them tell you China did it. They did it, just like they do everything else. What is the most outlaw rogue state on the planet that is attacking the whole world? Well, you know it's your own country. You know it's them. They're attacking the entire world. They've been doing it for years. So who do you think launched this entire scenario? The Chinese?
He's one of them.
Okay. Anyway, just food for thought. Now, if people could just hang out, and talk together, we might be able to start putting together some kind of an organization. Because if you don't form an organization now, when are you going to do that? Are you going to leave it up to Andrew Cuomo? Let me tell you something. You mentioned Bill Gates. Bill Gates has people in every governor's office in this country. His people are directing Andrew Cuomo's office as to what to do, when to do it, okay? When to march, when to stop. They have the whole thing planned out. They're not making it up as they go along. This is a pre-planned response that has been completely planned down to the finest details, and that's what they're following. They're going to go on with the lockdown, then they're going to let up a little bit, then they're going to put it back down again. This is an 18-month process. If you allow this process to move any further than this, you will find that millions of people will not regain their jobs in this country, that hundreds of thousands of small businesses will be permanently closed, that the food supply chains of this country right now are being interrupted. If you continue to expect food to be on the shelves of the grocery store, we better get together now and start discussing what is going on in this country, because it's a very serious situation. And anybody else want to come up and discuss these things? You're welcome. It's an open mic.
Together to
thanks a lot.
basically come up with the agenda of how they're going to further control society and keep their current control structure, the money flowing, people what they want to pay, they pay, and they basically own the government. And they do these like drills. They do these like exercises and drills. This one drill took place June 2001 called Dark Winter, which was about an anthrax attack. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They changed the scenario, like where it was and stuff. But the thing is, like, these people, they plan these things in advance, and if you look at these drills, they're very similar to what's happening now, and the same people that run the drills are in charge of things now. So the people are reporting one thing, and the government and the WHO and these other groups that control the WHO, like the Rockefellers and the Gates Foundation, and these people, they control these drills. They do these drills. Right. Yeah, and it just so happens that these people that run the drills are running the way things are. Yeah. They're operating. You
say the Gates
right now.
You say the Gates Foundation. You think the Gates Foundation is behind the Plandemic?
Yeah, I do, honestly, because I feel that Bill Gates has his money in all this stuff. He has the money in the
vaccines
problem and the cure. He keeps talking about the problem. Too many people, the population, right. In the meantime, there's enough for everybody. There really is. It's just this is a plan. Like, this is a plan that the global elites have had it for a long time. People like Aaron Russo, a movie producer, he made the film Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. He became friends with Nick Rockefeller, and a lot of people, in addition to Aaron Russo, like, tried to whistleblow this stuff. Please look up Aaron Russo, like his talk with Alex Jones. I mean, Alex Jones doesn't report certain things. I don't agree with everything that he reports, but the bottom line is he interviewed Aaron Russo, and Aaron Russo lays it out. He's like, yeah, they plan to like chip us and force vaccinate us, and then like control the money. And if they got away with 9/11 and fooled people on that, and did this drill also the same day, like, Let
me ask you a question. Just clarify for me. Who do you think they is? Who do you think? I mean, I'm not being condescending, but
yeah.
Who is the they? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, they, the deep state." But who in your mind, who is they?
It's like a global.
You said
mafia.
that you said the Rockefellers.
Different secret societies and different groups and the families and the bloodlines, like, they all get together. But it's mostly, if you look at it, the people that control things: the Pope, the Queen of England. Those are the people at the top.
What about the six? What about the banks? What about the banks?
The banks are just an extension of that, and the courts and the legal system. All these systems that they created. Like, when I say they, it's, again, these groups, the Bilderbergers, the Skull and Bones, the P2 Freemasons, the 33rd degree. If you look at these videos that were put out in the first few days of this, when they started exploding with the coverage of this crisis, they kept mentioning 33, the number 33. And this is a number that they use repeatedly, and it's like they're putting it right in our face. Like, these people are organizing this whole thing at the top. They have showed scripted news where people, they keep mentioning 33 cases, 33 this, 33 that, just within like days.
Yeah, it's unusual. Yeah, it's strange.
So these types of videos are being taken down off YouTube. So we're trying to just say, like, look, at least put the information out there. This is what's happening. We have proposals like to just do basic fixing of the immediate needs. But we have to eventually look at who's causing this and who's profiting off.
Do you think that there is you're saying that there is no a pandemic, meaning that there's a virus spreading around the globe? Do you believe that?
There's something going around, that's for sure, but I believe it's being spread in another way. I don't believe. It could be.
You believe the Wuhan?
It could be a bacterial thing. It could be a bacterial thing. It could be multiple things because we really don't know. If you notice, for the past 20 years, curiously, it's been quiet. But that I do not believe that's because of the planes stopping the coverage. It's because they want to cover up. It's too obvious if they see planes going around now. So they're doing it outside the cities. Yeah. They're doing the chemtrailing outside the cities right now.
Yeah, you notice that there's a lot. Notice there's a lot less of it, right?
Yeah, because they have to. It would be too obvious because there's no commercial. There's no.
Right.
So I think they're doing it off-site and they're like bringing it in here. But they have a long history of doing this thing called geoengineering. The former head of the CIA came right on out in public at the Council on Foreign Relations and said, yeah, we're looking at all these ways we can geoengineer and prevent solar radiation and this and that. In the meantime, does anybody test if this is safe?
Do you think that? Let me ask you a question.
Why do they not tell you like what the hell they're spraying? I mean, people have researched and studied. They came up with barium, strontium, aluminum, like off the charts in the soil, and the coal fly ash symptoms. People dying from coal fly ash.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that people, as a result of being quarantining themselves, hiding away, being afraid of the coronavirus that's going to kill them, do you think that they're waking up to something, their miserable lives, that
Maybe, yeah.
you think it's a good thing for the people that they're going to say, I'm not going back doing that bullshit that I was just doing?
Yeah, in that you're talking about in that regard, as far as a job, yeah. Because miserable could be multiple things, multiple people, and people are suffering right now, and people are losing their lives and livelihoods.
But not the banks. The banks are
bailing, they bail out.
The top 10 corporations, they got billions.
They're not even paying. They're using it for doing their investing. Like they're not even doing it.
They screwed small business.
Yeah, so we gotta.
They screwed the regular guy.
Everybody. So unless we assert ourselves and say, look, these are the ways you treat an illness. This is the way you go with this thing called immune system, which is being destroyed by these secret. Programs designed to kill us, usually tied to companies like Bill Gates and Monsanto. If we can counter that, we do it by natural healing, by growing organic food and having these herbs that they're trying to censor on YouTube, like turmeric. Like, this stuff is real. It has a long history of working. So why are they censoring it on YouTube and Google right now? And
also follow the rules. Don't touch.
Yeah, follow the rules. Don't touch.
Don't touch stuff.
They don't want people to organize. They want to keep people afraid in their little box while they plan out some other bigger thing, which probably, I suspect, it's some other bigger thing that they're planning that they're just not telling us about. And it's really sad. It's really sad that the public, the best we can do is like give a little bit of pizza and money towards the towards the people, first responders. That's great. It's a good start, but it's like, look around. There's vacant space everywhere. We can grow pot. Why can't we trade with something different than these little pieces of paper that
we need a new economy? Get rid of
when you fold them.
Get rid of the fiat system, the fiat money system.
I mean,
printing money to get us out of it. Go back to the gold standard, maybe?
Go back to something that has value. I mean, 600 years ago, like, people didn't use money. They just lived here and
Indian
they
trading.
Help each other. Yeah. The people that were on this land that we're standing on right now, hardly anyone acknowledges. It's just it's like we either wake up or we're gonna. These people, these meat and secret, like I said, the Bilderbergers, they make money when you fold it. It looks like the plane, like the towers being blown up, and they got strange pyramids with symbols, and you see all these corporate. It comes in corporate logos, and there's an agenda to let them know, like they let us know what they're doing, but they do it like not say, hey, we're planning to kill you, we're Dr. Evil, and we're planning to kill you, and make as many lives miserable as possible.
Probably 500 very, very wealthy, super wealthy people running the board.
So it's like. The masks are not going to help us against the heavy spraying and these antennas. These antennas, these secret weapons that they have, they put them all out in documents like NASA 2025, like Event 201. That provides a fake scenario. But the real stuff they've studied, the 5G is dangerous. Like, why is there zero industry study? They spent zero amount of money. They admitted it in front of Congress. The guy grilled him. He's like, hey, what's you telling me you spent zero amount of money on studying whether this stuff is safe? And he's like stuttering, and he's like, yeah. So like they didn't test this stuff. They tested it, but they're not telling us. And it's telling us like they're not telling us it's a weapon.
Yeah, but if we get rid of Trump and we get Biden, then everything's going to be okay, right? That's a joke.
No, I know.
That's where we're at right now. That's what
Like we got an Alzheimer's patient. Like
What do you think about
Alzheimer's? Seriously, and a guy's like an egomaniac. It seems. I mean, can't we come up with something better? Like, you and I can probably debate these clowns, even just for mayor. Like, if you live here, why don't we just debate de Blasio and say, hey, we want to start a truth committee. We got to come up with this great plan.
You heard what happened to his plan about sending pictures of people not social distancing?
I don't know what happened.
They started to send dick pictures and Nazi slurs and
That's good. It's getting coverage, but the thing is, like, they ultimately whatever they sign, whether they order people to do, hopefully they don't do them, but they probably will. Like the police and the military, they just do what they're told. Like they sprayed on the St. Louis projects. It was declassified recently by this woman who was just like, why are all these people getting sick? You know, from the projects, they're getting cancers and dropping dead. It turns out the U.S. military was spraying on them.
it's likely they're going to test these vaccines in the jails too.
We don't know what they're doing. They test on the soldiers. They test on. You see what they do to us. They send us off to another country and, you know, they blow us up. You know, they want to subject us to war to make money with the guns and the weapons and the bombers and the, you know, these are lives. We just don't see it. We're seeing it here another way through the slow, like, you know, getting this virus. But they've been exporting terror since its inception, like over 500 years ago.
What's your name, mate? What's your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
My name's Matt Bralow. I'm not suicidal. I am in good health. I don't plan on getting this corona. I plan on going somewhere positive, but not getting the corona. I plan on treating it naturally and building a new currency here and a new future here where we can liberate the vacant space, cancel the rent, and stop the damn lockdown because it's killing the small businesses. We should create a crowdsource, like do something. There's great people like you doing great work. We gotta pool our resources right now and reach the people that are a little brainwashed, like the people on the left and the people on the right. It's like, hello, like, look, what's going on? It's like we got secret groups like organizing things, and they don't tell us shit, and they get us fighting and believing shit. In the meantime, there's tons of scientists saying this social distancing is bull crap. Like we can't, you know, again, the virus, if you have a healthy immune system, you won't spread it and you won't have it. But you might have a little bit of it, but that's because we have trillions of viruses in us, which they don't tell you.